I've got the Batman and Robin of election fraud in Florida with us today. Come on in, guys. How you doing?
Good. We're doing good, Todd.
Todd, thanks for having us. Doing great.
You've been really busy. What's going on?
First,
so Jeff had his kangaroo Marxist show trial the other day here in Palm Beach County. It was for an evidentiary hearing, and coincidentally, he was prevented from presenting any witness testimony and evidence.
Any evidence at an evidentiary hearing, and it wasn't a coincidence. This was premeditated, and this has been going on. So, as folks may or may not know, I brought on an election challenge at the county level in Palm Beach County, and that the fraud and the official misconduct and the corruption is blatant, and they're doing everything they can in their power to hide it, to stop it, to prevent it from getting out there. And I thank you for this chance to have some reach. And
tell us about what happened to you. We've had you on many times, but give us the elevator pitch of what is happening in your case and why you're there.
Yeah, we have all self-authenticating evidence that proves the fraud. We have their own words, their own transcripts, their own sworn affidavits submitted to the federal court in a prior case. It admits that they tampered with records and they withheld statutory records. Now, we've been talking about records and electronic, breaches and all technical stuff. So I decided to take another approach, and I was ridiculed for this by a lot of people because the sheriffs are part of the ground game to silence the people and to prevent this from getting out. And it came to life right in front of Chris's face. Literally, I was told I put 14 witnesses down to testify, and the judge said, no, you get one witness and you can ask one question. So wow. Batman or Robin called in Batman or vice versa. And it was if the glove fits, you must acquit moment. I said, Your Honor, if we could just turn that screen on. Now, mind you, Chris is sworn in. He's sitting at the stand, and I had to ask a question. And they object. I asked it 13 different ways, and they objected 12 times until finally I was able to word it where the Marxists or the kangaroo court allowed it to be asked. And Chris started to give his answer, and I will turn it over to Chris for his account of if the glove fits, you must acquit moment.
So the attorney who is illegally using taxpayer funds to defend Wendy Link in her election challenge, we had written an article about him about a week or so ago. He was there, and he got all mad at me, and he said, "You're lying. You have a podcast. You can be prosecuted for lying." And then the judge looked at me and says, "Yeah, you can be prosecuted." And so I turned and I looked at the judge dead square in the face, and I said, "Prosecuted for what? Telling the truth?" And she didn't say anything. And I mean, it really was witness intimidation. They wanted to intimidate me to not testify on behalf of Jeff and on behalf of what we saw going on. And so Jeff, he's like, "Well, Your Honor, we can put the exhibits right up here on the screen." And the sheriff deputy bailiff was standing there right in front of the judge, and he gave her a glare unlike anything I've ever seen before.
Shook his head no.
And he's shaking his head no. And so then the judge looks at Jeff, and she's like, "No." So it's like, okay, so who's really wearing the robe here?
Yeah.
So then this whole thing goes down, and where they're not gonna let Jeff have any witness testimony. They're not gonna let him present any of the self-certifying federal and state records. So that's a big problem, right? So we went into this understanding and knowing that they were going to try to interfere with Jeff's case because because the supervisor of elections never provided any of the statutorily required election records. Okay. They just outright said, no, they don't exist. No, there's no responsive records.
In the transcript from the prior hearing, the attorney said, well, he got his answer. He didn't get the records, and he just doesn't like it. And you wonder if that's anything, it's a minor sunshine law violation. No, that's official misconduct. These are official election records needed. They must audit them before they certify the election. So they're boxed into a binary position. Either they're truthful and the records don't exist and there were no responsive records as they indicated in my public records request, or they went ahead and they certified those records. They certified the election without those records, meaning they illegally administered, certified the election. And Todd, I don't know, can you see my screen share at all?
Let me try to make you bigger here. Yeah, I can see your screen share. Go ahead and share the screen. You mean behind you or what? You mean?
Oh no, I have another. I'm logged in twice, and one is shared right now, I believe. If you see,
I don't have it on. I don't. Oh, let me see. Yeah. Okay, I didn't see that. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Up now. There we go.
Nice and easy for you. And
yeah.
Well, let's see what we got. It looks like. Why are you seeing that screen? Okay, terrific. Just give. Yeah. You can take it.
I'll take that down.
Let's see where that is. Yeah, it's a bunch of
so essentially, Todd, what Jeff had on the screen was self-certifying official election records that I had obtained in Hillsborough County during for the 2018, 2020, and 2022 general elections. And what those audit logs that Craig Latimer, the Hillsborough County Supervisor elections, had provided to us conclusively show that there were more votes than ballots cast. So what we saw was 0 votes and 1,583 ballots cast. We would see 2 ballots cast with 8,597 votes. And that's deeply, deeply problematic. And
it's fraud.
Yeah, it's fraud, machine level fraud. And that's why Wendy Link and other supervisors of elections have refused, denied, delayed, and concealed ththese election records in all of the cases. And they've tampered with them too. I mean, we did the public records requests, for Palm Beach County.
So this is the record that we requested. This is the system log file, and in the rule. So the rule is closest to the politician or the person who's the custodian who's responsible. So in the rule, this report must be reported on, and it must be disseminated in a public records request. Now you'll see why they're refusing to give it to us. Can you read that screen? Is it we have votes? You can see how it's highlighted where it says votes exceed ballots.
Yep.
And this is an official log file. And there's other damning things. If you look on top of that, we have ballots 7, total 2,754. So this, this was if the glove don't fit, you must acquit, because they don't balance. The balances don't fit, okay? To put it in the colloquialism. The balance don't fit, okay? This is the general ledger doesn't balance. And they're hiding this. They're trying to change the rule that allows us to get this information. Not that they abide by it, but right now there's a proposed rule change. And every time Chris catches them or we catch him with something, the Florida supervisors of elections goes to Tallahassee and they lobby Don Gates and they change the laws, they weaken the laws to hide this kind of malfeasance. And this is the smoking gun. If Donald Trump wants to start an investigation it's all here, signed, sealed, and delivered. Okay, we have the goods. Local action has national impact. Someone said that once, and we're here ready to deliver it and lock these people up once and for all. The sheriff intimidation is brutal in this county. I posted last night on Twitter. People didn't really get it. I said, welcome to Palm Beach County, where every day is J6. They dragged me out of canvassing board meetings and did not allow me to return for the entire election cycle because I was pointing out all of the things that they're trying to hide. They intimidated like 8 of my authorized designee, campaign designees by law, by Florida statute. They're protected, and they did what they trespassed them under a local county ordinance that says you have to give formal writing. So the person, we always need due process, right? So they're trespassing people like it's going out of style, and they're not sending them the formal written notice required in County Ordinance 21-63C. And this is just following the Constitution, right? Yeah.
Your government doesn't care about you. That's why you need a medical emergency kit. It contains life-saving medications like ivermectin, Z-Pak, and antibiotics. Stock them before they block them.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Right? You need due process. They're not sending out these formal written notices, and they're not even telling us why we're trespassed. I spoke to a 60-year-old plus woman last night who was about to do a Bible study class, who went to an art show, beeped her horn because the line was being run, the parking line to collect the money, all backed up. It was being run very ineffectively. She beeped once. She had a Trump sticker on the back of her car. They dragged her out. They took her into a psych cell, strip searched her, and held her overnight. We need Harmeet Dillon to look at Palm Beach County. This is Mississippi burning on steroids.
It's pretty bad, Todd.
They ridiculed me for months. Why are you going to go down that rabbit hole? No, you can't see a log file, but you can see these demons wearing green, dragging people out of canvassing board meetings, arresting them, strip searching them. It's brutal.
Todd, it's bad. I mean, I was actually one of those people that were ridiculing Jeff. We were joking about it, but I had no idea how bad it was until I got on the witness stand. And at a certain point during my testimony, the sheriff's deputy said he was about to go hands-on to physically remove me from the witness stand.
There was more deputies in the room than there were witnesses.
It seems to me it's very obvious this is some kind of foreign cabal that's in charge of our government, and they will do anything to stop the people from taking back their government. I mean, you're seeing the same thing in Georgia. At the Georgia convention.
It was awful.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in courtrooms, many courtrooms, and I have never seen anything like this before in a civil trial. I mean, I was intimidated. So first they're threatening me with criminal prosecution, right? And then you have a sheriff's deputy who's about to go hands-on, drag me off of the witness stand.
And they do it to us. Imagine what the other people like this Cindy, who was strip searched and put in a suicide watch cell, no seats, no benches, held overnight for no reason.
How old was that woman?
You never tell a woman's age. She's in her 60s. She looks great. She does Bible study class. Everything they hate is what she stands for.
Well, my point is she wasn't 18, right? So it wasn't easy for her in the cell. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it wasn't. And there's also I have evidence of Wendy Link, whose office fills out what's called an off-duty application permit, where they hire the Green Demons, the sheriff, to come in and do security. And in the special instructions, it says to observe candidates and their representatives. It says, out of an abundance of caution, based on comments at the county commissioners meetings, where we go and try to regrab our grievances, and they spin it on us. They fill out these applications and they pay for them using taxpayer funds, and they threaten, intimidate, and silence us. And that is what everyone sees, and this is taxpayer dollars. And if you could share the screen as we speak about taxpayer dollars, they're insisting that Wendy Link's defense is paid for with taxpayer dollars. Now, you have to understand that the lawsuit that I brought on is an election challenge, and the primary defendant here is the candidate. She was a candidate. So the public has no interest. I mean, really, they do if they're criminals on who the supervisor of elections is, or any race, right? As long as it's fair. But the candidate got sued, and it said there's 36 attorney general opinions that state no, you can't use public funds, and some of them go back to if the acts are not within their scope of duty, which we have that covered 6 ways to Sunday. But then we have this straightforward opinion from an attorney. If you're suing, if the candidate's involved in an election challenge, they're the primary defendant. They have to pay for their own defense because the public has no real interest in this. And the public should be paying my legal fees, not hers. She's the criminal. She's the one who withheld records. She's the one who directed the Palm Beach County sheriff's officers to drag me out and not let me back into canvassing board meetings. I have all the incidents reports, 13 of them. One of them says I sent his picture to the off-duty permit officer on site. I sent his picture. They're identifying my authorized campaign designees. They went to their houses for no reason, but they didn't have an apartment number. And the sheriff wrote in the incident report, well, I noticed an American flag and an term limit sign, so I knew that was her apartment.
Jeez. Wow. So are you guys going to write this up? Are you going to put this out?
Yeah, we're writing it up. And we've been, past couple of days, we've been focusing on our cases that we have going. And
to get an appeal in on this right away. And they're just building. I mean, this is basically we're playing them in a sense where we're building our rights deprivation case, which I already brought in federal court, and I was found to have standing. And by Judge Cannon, they're dismissing it. They're saying, "Oh, that doesn't matter. That case was thrown out." No, it was dismissed without prejudice. But the Judge Cannon ruled that I have standing on 2 charges. And back then, I was just, really didn't know what the heck I was doing. Thanks to Chris and everybody. I mean, now we're a lot more organized. We have a lot more evidence. We have like 30 affidavits. We have incident reports. We have denials of public records requests.
Terabytes and terabytes of evidence.
We need help in Palm Beach County. We need someone to step up. Everybody's all talk and no action.
Wow. Well, we're going to help, and we'll try to get it to the right people, because it's blowing up not just in Palm Beach County. In Georgia, you got similar stuff. And people are just, you can't even breathe. It stinks so bad, and I feel that is going on there. What else needs to get out, guys?
We need to raise some money. You need to, these transcripts are hammering us. I don't know if they're even charging the attorneys as much. They seem to be inflated. We printed like, I don't know how many of these binders.
We probably spent about $2,000 in printing costs.
And they didn't look at one of it. They didn't look at any of it. We're up all night. I went there on 2 hours sleep. I'm going to get a 30-year freaking attorney, and because I was up all night, I'm going toe to toe, and we were printing binders and putting stickers on stuff, and they didn't look at any of it. They didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to see it, and they wouldn't let us speak about it.
So how do people that's point one? How do people help right now?
I got an easy URL. It's the standard HTTPS tinyurl.com/help Bongi, BONGI, help Bongi. So it's tinyurl.com/help Bongi, BONGI. The money's going to good cause. There's no overhead, believe me. It's coming in, it's going out.
Well, I can vouch for that. You guys aren't going to Tahiti with this, that's for sure. So what about the appeal process? I mean, that's next, right? I mean, it looks like they almost did you a favor because they made it so bad you have an appeal. Am I right?
Yeah. Well, we want to establish case law because there's this 10-day rule that you have to bring your case within 10 days. And if you need records from the supervisor of elections and she takes 11 days, well, you're screwed.
And we saw that in my case. We've seen that in Bonji's case. I mean, we were sitting there in court, and public records request answers start pouring in while he's in court. I mean, that was, if that wasn't,
20 days ago, I needed it for the entry hearing. I requested them like 19 or 20 days in advance. And they ask a stupid question. Oh, you didn't capitalize that or something. And what do you mean? And as we're in the hearing, ding, ding, they start answering them. Like, it's like that was like their screw you to me.
They did the same. It was the same thing that they did to me, in my case, and in all of the cases that I've been involved with. So, I mean, this is a coordinated effort. Wendy Link is the president of Florida Supervisors, Inc. Okay, that's the Florida Election Corruption Cartel. And this is a coordinated effort. They communicate all of this together. And this is a huge issue. And, this really needs to be exposed, like Jeff had said, and like General Flynn often says, local action equals national results. And, we need local action right now in President Trump's backyard, because there's a lot of fraud going on there. I mean, Wendy Link, okay, she received more votes than both Kamala Harris and President Trump.
Well, so two quick things. Every single race in the county and 2 congressional seats were stolen. Oh, there was 500,000 votes cast in person in my race, and I won by 8,000 votes. 239,000 votes came in, and she won 75% of those votes, which we have problems on the distribution end when they went out with the identification verification, and then when they came back in. But here's another thing that really bothers me, and it should bother everyone in the country. Donald Trump owns a lot of property in this county, and he's funding this with his property taxes. And I did a chart of all of the incident reports of the demons, the Palm Beach County sheriffs following my people around, following me around, threatening and intimidating us. And guess what? In the middle of this all, you got Ryan Ralph getting on the golf course in Palm Beach County, 100 yards away with a headshot. And then
I think we're going to have to. I think we're going to have to embed a reporter with you, Bonji, and let him drive around with you and videotape.
We got to get a GoPro on his head.
So is this the right URL? Tiny URL help Bonji. Is that correct?
tinyurl.com.
Yeah, sorry, tinyurl.com.
Okay, let me edit that.
Yeah. tinyurl.com. Yep.
There we go.
There you go.
tinyurl.com help Bonji.
Yeah,
okay, my friend.
Yeah, these transcripts are like gold. We need them. It's we put their own words right back at them, and they're done.
I get it. I've seen Gleason in action. I've seen Batman in action in court. So we need the bat signal up in the sky over Palm Beach.
That's it.
So hey, guys, I want to have you back as you get more. Thank you for coming on. Thanks for the call last night. Great stuff. And please write it up in the Miami Independent, and we'll get it out there. Do what we can. Thank you very much. Take care.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Right.